Good morning, everybody. This is Tuesday morning, and I think it's about 9 o'clock, somewhere around that time. It's a beautiful morning out there. Lots and lots of lovely autumn colours developing. I've walked down with my coffee as far as the gate, at the end of the driveway. So I'm going to take you back down there because there's so much water now flowing through the ponds because of all the heavy rain. And the heavy rain is due to persist now for most of this week, though the morning now is a little bit dry, so it's not too bad. But you can see over there, Kilronan Mountain, you can see the mist, and that's a rain mist. It's probably quite wet up there. If you were walking through that, it would be like a very soft rain, you know. So let's go, without further ado, walk down to the end of the driveway. I've got some washing on there now, all dried and folded, ready to pack away. And Jackie Boy is waiting outside the back door for me. So I told him, I said I'll be back out. I'm just going in to get the camera. It's lovely and quiet in here. Of course, this is the lovely time now, just before Samhain. And there's a sort of a developing stillness. And the sweet peas, look, they continue to flower. There's a lovely scent of them. They're beautiful. All the lovely purples. Just close that back door. Okay. Just another wee shot up there. You see the different shades of purple. That's like a lovely dark purple. Then down here, it's a little bit redder. Okay. There's my jacket hanging up there from yesterday. I got so wet just taking Jack out for a walk. There's the berberis beginning to colour. You can see I've put a cotoneaster in there on the bank. I can hear a duck flying. And there's the witch hazel beginning to colour down beside the pieris in the pot. And my little side garden now, as I call it, beginning to take shape. I don't know how much work I'll be able to do on it this week with the impending rain, but I might get half an hour or so in this morning before the worst of it hits. One of the loveliest things about autumn is that I begin to see all the trees properly, because each one is a different colour now. So there's this lovely definition happening. And look how the clematis is now covering the top of the porch and coming right down over the front. And the clouds are moving very fast in from the south. That's where the rain's coming from, I think. Just show you down here. Because the big cherry tree now is colouring. See that one that's all sort of yellowy and orange? So we'll walk on down the drive. Of course, there's lots of videos here in this channel about Samhain at Bealtaine Cottage, and also lots of blogs over on the website with masses of photographs, because I was taking photographs long before I ever started shooting videos. This green beach here, all the colours, and you can hear the water coming down in the ditch. Just down there, deep down in the hedgerow. I don't know if you can see the water. I can just about see it. A lot of farmers clear all the growth off the sides of the ditches, and that causes the banks of the ditch to fall in. Here, the ditch is kept quite clear and quite clean by virtue of the fact that there are trees and shrubs planted. So there's nothing to fall into the ditch other than, leaves and little plants grow down there. But the integrity of the water flow is actually kept very well. So Samhain is the most important festival of the year because it is the Celtic New Year. There's a lovely song by Van Morrison. Is it actually entitled Celtic New Year? But anyway, he sings about the Celtic New Year. There's another one of the western red cedars. I grew that from seed. There's a little quercus oak. I plant trees wherever there's a little bit of space. And then the strongest trees, the most well suited to the environment will grow. That's what I've observed. Little birch. And this is the hazel. The hazel is one of the last to colour. Seems to hold on to its green for quite a long time. Here's another one of the little, well, not so little now, western red cedars. Again, grown from seed. Lovely colours here. And another one of those little trees. So Samhain is a time when the veil, as they call it, is at its thinnest. Because it is a time of betwixt and between. Betwixt and between the old year and the new year. Betwixt and between the dark and the light. Betwixt and between the past and the future. And so traditionally in Ireland, in old Ireland, in the Celtic ways, it was a sacred time, a special time, a time when you brought all the past into the present. You brought all those who had gone before into your feast. And you held that moment, you held that time. That in-between time, that fertile edge of betwixt and between. It is a powerfully magical time because of the incredible energies at play. You begin to feel those energies just starting to manifest. In this vibrant display of colour and health and wealth, and the leaves beginning to drop, and this revealing beginning to happen, a time of revelation. And here, just at the edge of Bealtaine, there's almost like a tunnel to go through to reach the cottage. There's the edge, which is incredibly fertile when you look at the growth along the planted edge of Bealtaine Cottage. So you have all that fertility. You have the plants and the trees and the shrubs growing towards each other to make it impossible for the worst aspects of civilization to enter. It's not a welcoming driveway for a huge vehicle, for an SUV, for that level of wealth, civilized wealth. It's a portal that if you want to enter, you have to go slowly and with a level of humility and regard for all the life that is on either side of you, that is above you and below you. Come on, Jack. Jack watches the cars. Come on. And walking up this driveway, you're immediately in a different world. And yet it's the same world. That's the world there. And the world here. And it's like a symbolic veil. Most of us never see through that veil. But this is symbolic of what the veil is. Because you can be in that world and not be able to see into this world. Because you can't begin to imagine what that land could be, what that land is, what Mother Earth is, because this is Mother Earth. So this is like a contemplation on Samhain. Because many people who come to Bealtaine Cottage, who come to this channel, are curious about what Samhain is. And there's so much confusion out there. It's become Halloween, it's become grotesque. Isn't it strange how the civilized world can make the natural world, the real world, appear to be so grotesque? It's loathsome, really, but not worth thinking about. There are parts of the paths now that have become so overgrown. It'll be months before I can make my way through them. Like this one over here. I would quite often cross the water, cross the stream, and go through this way. I'll just cross over and see how far I can get. This is the silt pond. You can just see the stream up there coming in. And this is a lovely willow. It's called black willow. You can see why it's called black willow. I think the proper name is purpurea. And this young woodland. And there's another massive stone. I think if I bend down low enough, I just might be able to squeeze through here. Yep, just about. Just about. This fuchsia has grown so thick. Another little tunnel. And yet more trees just beginning to fall gently, making space for bigger trees like oaks. You see how this beautiful goat willow is just falling onto the ground to feed the earth, prepare it for older trees at this beach. And part of an old ditch still running with water. And this little plank the morning sun just on the little birch leaves up there. And another little western red cedar. Growing up alongside the hazel. And a coppiced sycamore that now has 4 stems and growing very tall. And a coppiced birch that now has 2 stems and growing very tall. And a massive slab of bedrock. The bedrock is very close to the surface here. I've got to be careful crossing it because it can get slippy with all the rain. These beautiful leaves. And I'm being watched by the boy. He says, I know that other name you call me. And the steps have become all mossy. The cherry tree. The cherry tree I brought from London in a paper coffee cup. It was a tiny little thing. And the fairy wood. Blessings to you all on this beautiful morning.